Okay guys, I'm back and I've got some more gameplay today and I'm using the L96A1 sniper rifle as you can see. I'm using extended mags and tomahawk and flashbang. This gameplay sped up because it was like 12 minutes and I don't feel like talking for 12 minutes. So yeah, and this is a pretty good example of that I can snipe, I guess. But yeah. My topic today is realism in Call of Duty. Well, the unrealism in Call of Duty versus reality. Like, for example, a lot of people have their complaints about the game and whatnot, but most of us should take advantage for most of them. For example, a big one is sniping, because in real life, sniping is a lot more complicated than what is presented in this game. For example, your scope would be zeroed in at a certain distance, which means at that certain distance your bullet, well, is supposed to go where your crosshairs are, but in this game wherever you aim is exactly where your bullet goes, no matter what, which is quite unrealistic, but most of us take for granted that, because in real life, especially when you get to longer distances, your bullets will tend to stray away and won't hit exactly where you aim. So, yeah. And this also would mean that if you're shooting at someone closer or farther than what your zero is set at, whatever distance, 100 yards, 100 meters, 700 yards, 700 meters, whatever it be, your shot would either be high or low and maybe even off to the left or the right, depending. Yeah, and then other factor that's big is elevation and windage. Because if you're above or below your target, get quick scope right there. You have to aim above your target, because otherwise you're if you just aim straight at them, your bullet's gonna hit low, rather than if you were aiming at the same distance at a target on the same elevation as you. And then with windage, that if it's to the left or the right, you obviously will have to aim up and to the left or the right, because obviously the wind's gonna push your bullet one way, but if it's also crosswind, it's gonna slow your bullet down, because it's gonna have force pushing not in the same direction as your bullet, unless of course it's behind your bullet, and then it'll make your bullet go faster because it'll receive less air resistance, and then you'll have to aim lower. And of course you don't have to aim for all that in this game, which is really convenient, because otherwise sniping would be almost impossible. But along with that, a lot of other weapons wouldn't be able to do crap. Like submachine guns, they're effective out to maybe 100 yards if you're lucky. But after that, you aren't going to hit anything, because submachine guns fire pistol rounds, and they're coming out of a short barrel, so their range wouldn't be too much longer than pistols anyhow. And then heavy machine guns, or LMGs, I guess, light machine guns, whatever, but with the M60 with big ammo in real life, you would not be able to continuously fire through a whole 200 round clip, at least safely, because what would happen is the barrel would heat up and then possibly melt, which you would lose your accuracy, because the rifling would be probably one of the first things to melt. And then when the barrel heats up enough, it'll eventually make the ammunition go off by itself, rather than having to be struck by a primer, and that's really dangerous, because then you have no control over your gun. And then, but if you did fire and burst or whatever, you would eventually have to change out your barrel, and that would be very tedious in a Call of Duty game. Then next off is health recovery, and real life your health doesn't recover. Uh, but what fun would that be if once you got shot you were screwed? Screwed. But and with that the damage and whatnot, even if you got shot in the leg or whatever with a sniper rifle, I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty much incapacitated. No matter what, even if your hand got blown off, because I don't think you'd be able to use your primary weapon after that, because you'd be down one hand, unless of course you were using a submachine gun. But even then, it'd be pretty difficult. Plus, after you got shot, unless there was like medics in this game or something, you would continue to bleed out of your bullet wound and possibly, well, most likely eventually get you killed, because you really can't survive that long after you've been shot, because your wounds keep bleeding. So I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. See you later.